So Americans are watching what's going on in France, and we've seen the rise of the Yellow Vest movement, which was originally a protest against higher gas taxes. But I think they'd first want to know what's going on in France. Like, is liberty a thing in France today?
Yes, it is for on many subjects. But talking about the Yellow Vest, it happened that I attend every event in the first one. It started. And at the beginning, you clearly had a movement of hardworking people who were done with state regulation and taxes. So this movement really rise, start to become big. And then you have the leftists, like the black box, start to get in and start to make it very violent. And then you had a second interesting fact that the subjects start to change. It went from no more tax or suppress these taxes to we want fair tax. And you can imagine how the media start to look at the people who say we want fair tax.
Yeah.
So the originated Yellow Vest felt like betrayed or slowly being taken over. And this violence that surprisingly the government let it happen in order to discourage clearly the movement. I saw it firsthand in Paris on Avenue Kléber. One day for 4 hours they were breaking every cars, every shops. This clearly black box, very equipped guy, and there was not one single guy being arrested.
Huh.
And then the president next day say, "Oh, it's terrible, this Yellow Vest movement. We need to be tough with them." And then they start to arrest them, shoot at them. We had one of our students lost an eye in her activist. She has never used violence. So yeah, that's clearly threat of freedom, of liberty in the way we want to defend our independence or individual sovereignty.
So tell me more about Black Box, because it sounds a little bit like Antifa.
Yes, exactly. It's kind of Black Box Antifa. It's the same type of movement. This guy arrived very well equipped. They have things to fight the tear gas. What a classical Yellow Vest guy doesn't have. They have the water to put in your eyes as soon as you get gas. So the technique is one group break the bank or break a car. Then you have more the suburban type of people who live in the suburbs, mostly criminals who come to steal what is inside. And then the Antifa black box start to burn the thing. So it's very well organized, and they're very violent. When the Yellow Vests wanted the police and the firemen to come to stop the fire, I saw firsthand how they could be beaten up by this group that are very well organized, suddenly in groups, and impress an individual who start to stand against this violence and breaking things.
That's fascinating, because I don't know if you know this, but I was one of the original Tea Party organizers. And the evolution and devolution of the Tea Party sounds a little bit like this. And in the early days, it was almost libertarian. It was very much about small government. It was all moms and pops and workers just rising up against Wall Street bailouts and various things that our government had done. It was a protest against both political parties. It wasn't partisan, and that's devolved today to where protests in the street are really dominated by violence, and Antifa, they're professionals. Their strategy is to cause chaos, and it sounds like the same pattern has happened in France.
It's exactly, when I looked at it, I thought, hey, we're gonna have our Tea Party. And when I see the evolution, I obviously thought of you, Terry, and see how effectively was taking over, and how the Yellow Vest didn't translate it into a politic influential, or were able to influence the politics in order to get this tax cut. So very hard to see that a civil society movement, people getting organized and being taken over by some very well organized minorities.